Sandra and I have been working feverishly on the soundproofing and insulation to prepare for the drywallers to come in. We've been looking at this framing of this house for far too long, so it'll be a relief to see some walls go up. Now we faced some delays, as some of you may have seen from an earlier video, because we found a leak in the original radiant floor tubing that came with this house. So afterwards, Sandra found that there is also a leak in the copper pipes that were here, so he did a replacement one-to-one with one of the PEX piping here as well with some fittings. So we luckily found that. It's outside now, and we'll end up recycling them at Upstate Recycling and probably getting a good penny for those. So we made short work of it, ripped that out, and then put in a new and updated radiant floor system, which was not without its own challenges. This is where we landed. We're getting ready for the drywall guy, but eventually in the next day or two, Sandra will be putting up the aluminum that will help dissipate some of the heat and spread it more evenly up here. But before too long, our neighbors Ben and Rick came by and started hanging the drywall. All right, as you can see here, we're gonna get drywall today. This is like a milestone. Drywall is always a milestone. Now, Sandra and I provided a little extra muscle to get them going, but then we promptly got out of their way so that they could work without us looming over them. Now, I'm glad we protected the furniture because drywall is a dusty process, and I think it'll be weeks for us to clear out all that drywall dust in the house. Whatever the case, we're on our way to the more exciting projects like interior design, which will definitely be a subject for future videos.
I am building a wall with a huge pocket door in it. So the drywallers came and they put the ceiling in. And I wanted them to put up the ceiling first so that when my wall goes up, the drywall is continuous behind it. So I don't have any gaps like where the top plate is. So, you know, here I am after they're gone, quickly building this so that tomorrow they're gonna put drywall on these walls.
It's gonna feel like a room. This is great.
It's gonna be like a room, but I'm checking if it's square now because I wanna make sure that this shower pan here fits.
And this is the first time you're ever installing a pocket door, right?
Yeah, it's great hardware. We got this hardware from Eclipse, whatever it is.
Eclipse, it looks.
Eclipse. You know, the regular pocket doors you get at the hardware store, they're not as great. Like upstairs, we have a pocket door, and when you move the wall where the door goes into the wall, there's very little framing there, so when you grab the drywall, you could just shake it back and forth like almost an inch.
Sometimes gets stuck too.
Well, yeah, and the hardware's not great. This is all aluminum, steel structure. So once you drywall this, it's gonna be a lot stronger. You're not gonna have this like flex in the door, and it has soft close and all that fancy stuff.
Talk about the soundproofing.
I mean, I try to make every effort possible to make this ceiling and the room as soundproof as possible. We have our radiant heat installed, then we have a 2-inch space of air, then we have a radiant barrier to reflect most of the heat up. Then we have 3.5 of insulation, like rock wool, like same stuff you see here on the wall. And then in some areas, we have this thick 1/8 of an inch heavy mass floated vinyl. Mm-hmm. And then we have another 5.5 inches of insulation. Then we have these little rubber clips that accepts this hat channel, and on the hat channel is what the drywall is attached to. So it's a floating ceiling, and the purpose of that means that if someone stomps on the floor upstairs, that vibrates all the joists. No matter how many inches of insulation you put in there, your joists go all the way down to the bottom of it. So in order to get rid of that vibration, you use this like floating ceiling to cut that down.
It's great. We flush the toilet, you don't even hear it.
Yeah, and there's a shower.
Bit of footsteps, but not that much.
Right here is a shower and a toilet, so we added extra mass-loaded vinyl here, and you can barely even hear it. I'm really happy with it. It's always a roll of the dice when you start soundproofing and how much you actually can achieve.
And we could only do so much here because it was a lower ceiling already.
Yeah, so even better would be to then add acoustical sealant on this and then put another layer of 5/8 drywall on top of that. But now we're getting really heavy with our materials. Like this ceiling will become really heavy, plus the stuff that you're putting in the room upstairs. So I think this is enough of soundproofing. And then another thing that these tracks did is it made the ceiling flat, because before the ceiling was kind of like curving up because this side of the house is an inch higher than over there.
If we were building this from scratch, we would take this into account, but because this is a renovation, we're kind of working with what we have.
Yeah, the best thing for the foot noise to reduce it is to go upstairs, and underneath the floor you put like a thick cushion of like foam or a mat. But we can't do that. The floor is glued down up there and we're not ripping it out. It would be almost impossible. But also the walls are gonna have double 5/8, at least these two will. And that's gonna help significantly. Again, insulation, 3.5, and they're double walls. So if you look here in the door opening, you can see there's an inch of space in between the walls with nothing in it. So sound, whatever sound makes it through this wall has to then jump across an airspace which has got nothing to resonate with. And you could see it here. If I vibrate this wall, if you could see this is moving, but this isn't. So that means that any sound produced in this room or that room cannot bridge across this gap. So hopefully that will help. And it is quite good. Like if you're having a conversation here and you're standing out here, it's hard to hear, even with this door opening.
There was 4 guys down here drywalling, and I thought nobody was home when I was walking upstairs, and it's wide open without the drywall on, so it's pretty impressive. I mean, for what this is gonna be great. It's gonna be its own bedroom, ensuite bedroom for future creative and garden residencies, so hopefully people could do their work here and feel really at peace. Thanks, Sander. Well, we got all the drywall on the house, and it definitely feels different. It feels great. It was one of the things that we outsourced because Sander and I recognized that, one, it was probably gonna be one of the top jobs that we didn't wanna do, that would be less capable of doing. And 2, we've also determined that if we can, we will try to hire out some more things. Typically, we do a lot of this stuff ourselves, but in this case, I think it would behoove us to actually get this done faster. You'll see that we had the green wall area here. Somebody had asked whether we were going to continue to put plywood. This was just a leftover 8-foot sheet that we had, so we wanted to reuse it, and we didn't. We just actually are gonna drywall it. So if you recall from that video, it has this French cleat where the green wall is going to hang. And you'll see all the plumbing is coming out of the drywall now, so we could actually hook the green wall up to the plumbing system. But, ooh, this definitely is a different feel. One of the next things that we have on our list to do is when we actually took the roof off and started to re-insulate the roof and get a better air seal, I think you had been spraying something up there, right? And the water came in? It wasn't rain.
In order to paint a house, usually you pressure wash it before.
Okay.
But when we pressure washed it near the windows, the water came in and it dripped down. But there's also water damage from the skylights, the previous ones.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to fix that.
That's the next on our list. So we're actually gonna be picking up a sander today, one of the Festool sanders, and I went and picked up some of the sanding papers yesterday, so that will be on our list of things to do. But since we have everything taped off, more or less, I mean, you could see that it's not as easy to renovate with drywall because it's so dusty, so we taped off a lot of things. Yeah, he's showing some of the, perhaps like the water damage around the skylight area. And that was here when we got here. The skylight was compromised and we needed to...
Both.
Yeah.
Which is Skylights, they're really tricky to do.
But you know what? You covered it up one day, like years ago, and you said, "Do you see anything different here?" And I was like, "It's dark."
we wanted to, before we did the roof, we were debating should we get rid of these skylights, because skylights are always a tricky part. But we blocked them off for like a week, and it just doesn't work in here because we have so many windows on the sides of the building.
Yeah, these windows are so bright.
It becomes really dark in this kitchen compared to the rest of the room. And I think it's not a matter of like if it's actually dark or not. It's more the contrast between how light it is here compared to in the kitchen. So the skylights definitely do help with equalizing the amount of light in this space.
It's also nice having light from above. There is something very heavenly about it. Let's go back into this room. One of the rooms that I'm most looking forward to is this little guy here. And this is going to be our mudroom bathroom. It's gonna be like a half bath, so it'll be a toilet and a sink. You can't really fit much else in here. But this will be the first time that we'll have a public bathroom, a public facing bathroom, more or less, because before we started renovating this house, the room that Sander is actually standing in was a bedroom. It's like an ensuite. So if anybody had to use the bathroom, they would have to walk into somebody's bedroom to use the bathroom. And then this pocket door, which we're gonna keep a pocket door, but we're going to probably reinstall this one. It's great, solid wood, pretty awesome door, but sometimes it gets stuck and then you can't even close it. So that's something that we're gonna be working on. But the room that I'm most excited about is this little guy. And we have the design. We just went the other day to Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams. We started picking out some paint colors. I think we even actually decided amongst these which paint colors we're gonna go with in this room for the built-ins, the wall, the ceiling. So we've gotten a lot done. And the design part is, I think, the part that everybody enjoys the most, picking the colors, picking the floors, and then putting it all together, seeing it come together. So let's go downstairs. We'll show you what's happening there. We were doing a lot more insulating work. Sander and I were both very picky yesterday. Sander took this side of the insulation. We actually put up some of this.
Yeah, so this is a radiant barrier. It's meant to go right underneath your roof in like really, really hot climates, like in Florida. In order to kill some of the radiant heat from the sun beaming onto your roof, people put an airspace and then this between their rafters. That way, a lot of the radiant heat will be kicked back out to the outside. But we're using it as a way to reflect the radiant heat back up into the ceiling so that it heats the upstairs versus the downstairs.
Here, I ended up taking this side. And so Sander worked before me putting up some of that radiant barrier, and then I put up some of the Roxol. And you could see that I tried to get as much of the wires and the piping underneath the Roxol, above the Roxol, so that we could get to it if there's any type of problems. So
yeah, because this will be a drop ceiling you have to add.
Otherwise, we're gonna have it
locked in the ceiling.
Yeah, we're gonna have a drop ceiling here, but it feels different with it being insulated. There's a little indent here because we're going to have probably a little under cabinet, and then we're going to have like a built-in screen. So this will be kind of the cinema room, if you will. This will be probably the first time in my life since I was 5 that I ever owned a television. So
yeah,
it'll be
more
interesting.
Like it'll be more like for movies, but it's indented
films,
so that the screen is actually flush with the
wall. And then I found some really awesome chairs. Beautiful. They look like they've never been sat in, from the 1960s, vintage chairs on eBay, and for a good price, $400 for 2 of the chairs. And I had a friend, Daryl, was kind enough to go and pick them up for us because they were nearby where he was. So we'll probably get them at some point. It's better for us not to have any furniture because you could see the renovation is just messy. This room is very echoey when I walked into it. This will be the ensuite downstairs. So bedroom, bathroom, probably have the desk right there where Sander's standing, and then where Sander's now is probably gonna be like a nice little seat or like kind of breakfast nook area. We have been thinking about putting some type of arch. I know Sander is rolling his eyes because this was a miscommunication.
It wasn't, it's just really hard to do. Like, I don't know how you would do it.
I don't know. I mean, I'm
We're gonna
thinking
have to cut the wall out.
I'm even thinking
just
like
finish the drywall.
a half arch, but maybe just even using some plywood.
Arch to nowhere.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's really challenging in this area because we've brought the ceiling down, we brought the walls in, so we have a little less space. And if we want a full to queen size bed, it's going to be so wide that you won't be able to have much room on either side. So we might actually have to push it against the wall and then only have one little dresser here so that you have a little bit more space to get off into the bathroom. We're working on color palette also and what kind of textures that we want. And I think that we're going to go with a more like limestone type of look on the walls. And then this will feel a little bit more adobe colored down here. So anyway, I mean, a lot to do, but we wanted to give you an update on where we are with the house. Now that the drywall is on, I think a lot of more of the exciting work can be done. And hopefully we have one more day on the insulation, and then we can make some more of the drop ceiling, and we'll show you what we're gonna do with that. Stay tuned as we're really making progress on this house renovation and have so many more projects here at Flock, both in the landscape and on the structures. Plus, there are more inspirational garden tours that we have in store as well. Just like, subscribe, hit the notifications button, and we'll be back in your inbox and on your screen soon.